Boom, my people, my people, my people. We're back again, talking Alabama football, talking camp talk, talking about what you guys want to see in your estimation from the upcoming scrimmage. What do you want to see? I want to know. Let us know. Talk to us. We're here with my broski, as always, man. Defensive guru by trade, Jake Merrill, Coach Jay Muir. What's going on with you, brother? How you doing? And how
What
you
up?
feeling?
What up, man? I'm doing good. It was fun jumping on this morning with you. Missed you, man. Everyone's been kind of busy wrapping up summer, right? Getting ready
Yeah,
for football season. But it was cool. We jumped on over around the table sports with our boy Ty Hayes this morning.
Ty.
Yeah, Friday with the fellas. It was a good time. Now we're back this evening to talk some strictly deep dive into some Alabama football. I love it. And man, I'm just good. Completely like feeling real good. Mimi, what's going on? Zach, what's up? Keyway, what's going on?
Keyway.
Yeah, man, it's a
Yes,
good time. It's a good time. So,
facts.
super happy to be in here with you, Coach. You know that.
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
love it, man.
Much appreciated,
Start
brother.
rolling this way for now on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Much appreciated as always, man. Might have Coach Carl checking in with us too, man. Shout out to JLB, Jimmy Butler, man. Baker, shout out to Jimmy Baker. Shout out to Mimi S. Shout out to my former player, Keyway, Jonathan Wiggins in the house. Going on, Zachary. What's going on, Z Dub? How you doing, man? Good to see you guys tap in. Please hit the like button if you guys don't mind. As we tap in really, really quickly. Shout out to everybody on Twitter, everybody on YouTube. Much love to you all. Man, listen. First scrimmage tomorrow, Jake. Let's get right into it, man. Before we even talk about the scrimmage, though, give me some of your superlatives, man. What are you happy about that you seen? And if anything, Trevor Paneer, what's up, bro? Home team right there. What's up, Trevor Paneer? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for tapping in, brother. Jake, I want you to talk to us and tell us some of your pros and some of your cons, if any, of what you've seen so far in these 8 practices, man, and what you feel good about, and what are you kind of iffy about, if any.
Yeah, no, that man, that's great. Southern Red, what's going on?
Southern Red, what's up, girl?
Travelpreneur Jimmy, yo. So far, I feel pretty good. This is, as you know, Coach, like these 8 practices going into even next week to an extent, right? Next week's a little different. What's up, Joseph? What's going on, dog? Um, it's just so much install going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
Yeah,
lot of install. Like there, and now it's more heavy than the spring. Like spring, you're looking at real basic install of just the understanding of like what are we about defensively, right? Like what does it look like? What's the goals of the defense? Same thing on the offensive side, and then slowly you start to put in more of the not as complex things, right? And I'll tell you, Bama fan, what's up? Thanks, Keyway. Appreciate you, dude. But you look at now, you're getting into the complexities of the installs, right? Like you can't afford to just kind of sit back and be like, oh, I don't quite know it yet. No, you
yeah,
have to pick it up now because if you don't understand it, like, and as a group, the group's moving forward and you're on a stall because you're having a hard time, you got to figure out ways to really understand this and dive deep so you can not fall behind, right?
yeah,
They're not just going to sit there with a few guys. So that goes to talk about like the freshman cornerbacks, right? Our youth on the defensive side of the ball, like those guys really, the older guys, they should feel pretty good because you're not making too many crazy changes, right? So I have felt really good with that being said about the defensive line. You're seeing these guys. Number one, I also think the defensive line it becomes a little more simplistic. Instead of like 2 gap control, you have single gap control. So your job changes just a bit, but you can now kind of stop thinking as in depth or trying to hold up, right? That you can use your athleticism, your size and strength with an explosiveness a little more um, efficiently doing it this way. So I think defensive line looks really good. So that's one area I do believe like we're going to see a lot of rotation. We're going to get into our depth, which will be really good for the younger guys. and we're going to see guys get out there making plays, right? They're going to
Yeah.
be fresh. Um, I think the other side of that to Rob, what's going on, man? Roll Tide to you, Patriot Life. Um,
Patriot life, my broski.
the other side of that is like where are we feeling? What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? Good to see you. That's Kyle's a good dude. The next part of that, right? What's up, Nicole? Is
Oh,
I think you look at it offensively. I feel good about the offensive line making the strides that they're making. Okay, so I think you hear that they're in a rotation. The rotation looks good, meaning like Formby's really coming along. There's good talk on Pritchett right now. You know what I mean? Like Pritchett's like making some big moves. They, Naquil Betrin, right?
yeah,
Like he's like they've discussed him. Like he's starting to come along with it too. So I think that there's a key piece in that locker room, or at least in that offensive line room, is really with Brailsford. Makes me really really happy. I mean, we were seeing the snaps, right? Like, did you, if you watch videos of camp that have been released, there's videos all over the place of the people who get the opportunity to go and watch. You saw the snaps perfect, like right where
yeah,
they need to be, right in the basket, and Milroe making his read, and boom, getting that ball out with confidence. That was another thing. I think there's been a lot of talk of Milroe in his growth, and this week was a big week for him. He made some big jumps in understanding the offense, so that's legit. Byron, what's going on? Antoine, what's up, man? Um, so like it's pretty crazy to see that these guys really. I mean, not crazy, but I mean like exciting. Like you're pumped to see these guys making such good strides, even from the defensive back room. I think if there's one area where everyone would say, okay, well, our biggest concern, man, like the one area I'm not sure if what we're seeing is in the defensive back room. Well, actually, they're doing a really good job. I'm gonna tell you what, they're getting coached up. Linguist is going to work. I don't know necessarily if there's anything I would say that is negative right now, considering where we're at in camp. The scrimmage is going to be interesting. You'll see a tall tale sign of like maybe things to work on. Um, but everybody's doing a good job of like when mistakes are made, they're coming
yeah,
back and making those corrections really quickly. So that means the concept, they're understanding that concept and then being able to build on it with continuing to learn and learn and learn even when mistakes are made, which is what you want, right? So I can't necessarily say there's anything right now, even from the special team standpoint. Special team sounds amazing.
yes,
They sound like I mean, that kicker Graham is booting it, man. Like
yeah,
one thing DeBoer had said is he stands right behind the kicker to watch him, and he's like, this guy's money. This
yeah.
guy's like legit. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of negatives, right? Like there's things to work on for sure, but not a ton of negatives. It sounds like guys are really picking this up quickly. So on both sides of the ball.
Man, that's me too, man. First of all, shout out to Bama fan 95. Roll Tide to you, broski. Shout out to Keyway. What's up with you, my little brother? What's up with you, Rob? How you doing? Shout out to Patriot Life as always, man. What's up, Kay? How you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. Nicole is in the house. Nicole, much love to you. Roll Tide to you. Good to see you, sweetie. How you doing? Shout out to the broski, Lynn. What's up, Lynn Shantyfeld? How you doing, Lynn? Good to see you in here, brother.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. JLB is in here. Byron Walker's in here. What's
Boom.
going on, Byron? Good questions, man. Antoine, Mr. Drip himself. What's up, Twan?
What
Good
up,
to see
Don?
you in here, bro. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Um, I'm the same, man. Larry Large, Double L. What's up with you,
LL,
Larry?
what up, dude?
Good to see you, brother. How you feeling and how you doing, man? Um, I'm the same, man. Right now, it's really, really early. I know it's been 8 practices.
Yeah.
But I really, really, really think right now it's just not a lot of negative coming out of there, right?
Hmm.
I think this scrimmage leading up to the scrimmage tomorrow will really, really help. You always want to see your guys when the I hate to call them live bullets, when the live action comes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want to see
100%.
your guys under fire. And me personally, I sort of want to see these guys face some adversity. I
Yeah.
want to see these guys, I want to see these guys face some adversity and see I want to see them give up a sack or two just to see who bounced back. I want to see. I've seen Jalen face adversity. I want to see the offensive line face some adversity. I
Mm-hmm.
want to see these guys pick up blitzes. I want to see. They say Caden is really doing well in practice. This kid is really out there with an attitude. I heard Sheridan is really, really, really impressed with his offense. They say the tight ends are doing very, very well. They say these guys are really, really using the tight ends a lot. Did you hear the same, Jake?
100%, man. Like, it's funny you bring up tight ends. Like, I'll be dropping a video tomorrow about the
Mm,
tight end room and, like, honestly how they're utilized in this offense. To give you a little sneak peek, the tight end group legitimately in this offense is almost as important as, gosh, the offensive line and quarterback, right? Randall Green, what up, dog? Good to see you,
Randall,
Randall. Man,
what's
heck
up,
yeah.
Randall?
I haven't seen Randall in a minute, man.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so it's this tight end, like LaQuisha, what's up, girl? Man, I'll tell you, that tight end room really
Wait,
impressive. When I broke it down and I looked at it, right, as far as like these guys in general, the depth, what they bring, what each of them can bring to the table,
yeah,
you do see within that room versatility. And I think, now I'll tell you, I think you are going to see a couple different dudes, right?
yes,
Playing. Like, you're not just going to see CJ Dupree. You're not just going to see Robbie Oots. I think you're going to see a package of Danny Lewis in there. Shoot, man, I'll tell you what, you know, you could potentially even see maybe even more of a speed package there. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do it, just because tight end plays such a critical role in the matchup game, in creating the mismatch, right? And so in this offense, like I said, I go into it in the video, but the tight end room looks good, and it's not just that tight end room; it's the fact that you look at the coach, right? Brian Ellis in there he's a special coach to have in your tight end room, to not only help you with tight ends, but just overall, getting the look at the offense and working within this offense along with the rest of these coaches on the offensive side of the ball. It's super impressive. What's up, Chad? How you doing, man?
likewise, man. Likewise, I'm really, really, really impressed with these coaches so far, man. I can't wait to see them crank it up, man. Shout out to LaQuation, man. Good to see you, Quay. Good to see you in here for sure. Chad, what's up with your brother? How you feeling? How you doing? Randall Green, what's up with your brother? Good to
Mm-hmm.
see you, man. Good to see everybody. Southern Red. Good to see you so much. I'm impressed with it, man. I'm impressed with it. But for me, tomorrow going into the scrimmage, to me, that's the biggest day
Yeah.
because in spring ball is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a lot of players don't, all the players don't be out there in the spring. But the fall is when it really get cranked up. Jake will tell you that's when you have a lot of fights. You a lot of skirmishes. You have some in spring too, but fall, man, it's just like it's another. Lynn can tell you, Lynn Shanafelt, that fall ball, man.
Yeah.
When people trying to get positions, people, it's not a lot of time, right? The game is near. You really trying to put belt to ass when you get a chance, and really, even on your own teammates at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's up, Mike G? Roll
What
Tide to
up,
you, brother.
dog? You know who
K
Mike
Straight,
G
what's
is,
up,
right?
bro? Who's
Mike
Mike G?
G is used to do the call in from jail at Kyle's channel.
Oh, Mike G.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mike, what's up, man?
Penitentiary
Roll
Mike, man.
Tide to you, Mike. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Straight up, Mike. That's what's up, man.
Hmm.
So for me, man, the fall is where it's at, man. You really
Yeah.
cut your teeth and find out what's what. They don't cut you no slack in the fall, man, because the game is right around the corner. So I'm really, really excited to see these guys cranked up in a full blown, full pass scrimmage tomorrow. I know it's closed off to the media, but from what I hear, Coach DeBoer will address the media and talk and speak to everybody and let them know what's going on. So we'll see, man. We'll see tomorrow. It's the first of two scrimmages, right? The other one being the last one a couple of weeks before the game. So these scrimmages only two. It's very, very important. It's
Hmm.
very, very important, man. So, Jake, I want to talk to you about this really quickly. The depth of our defensive front.
Yeah.
The defensive line as a whole, guys,
Hmm.
may be our deepest position. You think? I want to
Uh,
know,
I think
Jake.
so.
You think so? I
Hmm.
want to think. I want to know, Jake, in your perspective, What do you see from these guys as far as a rotation going into this type of defense? We're not in that gap scheme anymore. I want you to tell the guys in the chat and the guys and gals in the chat. Mike Ford, what's up, Mike? What's going
Oh,
on
Mike
with you, Blue?
Ford's in here, man.
Mike, we gonna talk, Mike. We gonna talk later. You gotta fill us in about what the hell's going on in Ann Arbor, right? Stay
Dude,
in here, Mike, because we're gonna get to that in here in just a second. You gotta give us the tea, man, of what the hell is going on in Ann Arbor, bro.
man,
Right?
seriously, man. Like
Yeah,
that's
man.
good. That's gonna be an interesting one there.
Very, very. So talk to me, Jake. I want the chat to understand how deep this defensive line is. How deep do they go? And what's the rotation look like going into this type defense, this even front?
Well, and this is gonna be interesting, right? Because number one, our defensive line is extremely deep. Okay, so if we look at like our D line from a standpoint, right? You look at Tim Keenan. This is like from a defensive tackle standpoint, right? So
Yeah.
you look at Tim Keenan, Tim Smith, Jaheim Otis, Damian Payne, James Smith, Edric Hill, Hunter Osborne, right? That's a lot of dudes. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like that's a lot of dudes. So from that perspective, you're sitting there going, okay, like we have a number of guys where we need to see these guys be really productive, right? And we will. Like I do think that. I think, from a standpoint of who's going to play that nose tackle, who's going to play that D tackle, right? Who's playing our one technique. And you don't want to take away the fact that you also have like your young guys too. You have Isaiah Faga and Faga, and then Jeremiah Beeman. So, but I'll tell you, from who's going to play our one technique, who plays our three technique, right? Our one technique is that guy has to be the guy that takes on, like they want to double team him because of the way he sits in that gap, right? I mean, they both sit in the gaps, but you're playing that gap on that one technique, you're outside shade of the center. So you can really blow stuff up. Gary, how you doing, man? Good to see you. What's going on, Gary? So I got to tell you, man, like that's going to be that position. I think a lot of people said like Jaheim Otis at that spot.
Yeah.
I that would be one of those areas for me. Like, okay, who else are we looking from a rotation standpoint? I because again, do you put in Keenan at then the D tackle, because nose tackle with Jaheim Otis? Do you put Keenan at the D tackle, right? Or do you rotate those two? I think you're going to see a lot of these guys. I think you see Damian Payne. You're definitely going to see Smith out there, right?
Yeah.
You'll see Bull Smith, Tim Smith, and James Smith. That's going to be the fun one to watch, and how they move them too, right? I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think you're just going to have a small group of dudes rotating in at that one technique and then small group rotating at three. I think they're going to be interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what's beautiful is like Kane has said it too. I think that's the strength, legit, besides our linebacking core, because our linebacking core is pretty legit. But that
Yeah.
middle of our D line, that's the strength of this team. That is what I want to hear from our coaches and what I want to see in scrimmage, no matter what. Because if that's the strength, guess what? This defense is going to work very well, because that's the key, right, to everything else being successful on the backside. So I'm really excited to see the way these guys rotate too. I think you're going to have a 3-4 man rotation, maybe up to 5, right?
Mm.
Then you get, I think, to your bandit, and that bandit position is going to be interesting, right?
Yes.
LT Overton, Jamarian Latham, right? I mean, that those guys right there, it's a fun position to look at. I also think you have to ask yourself, like, would you move over into some packages where you're able to use more of the wolves, right?
Yeah.
Like, I talked about this earlier today a little bit, but could we see like move over Akwe Rusaw and put him in a position where you don't know if he's going to bring it, because he's so strong, right? He's so strong. Like, he's strong enough to come off that bandit spot and play something Very unique. Could we see him in a position where he drops the coverage? And yeah, Antoine, you just bring it up. Keon Keeley, I think, is making huge strides over with the bandit in the bandit spot. For him, it's just continuing to develop his technique, putting his hand in the ground. But he's also a versatile guy where you could drop him in the coverage as well. Like, he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. We're not expecting him to be in this crazy, man to man. Like, you're going to play this underneath zone and drop either into a hook curl or to a curl flat, right? Um, but it's going to be fun to watch this defensive line with that depth. But I see like 3 to 4, potentially 5 guys in a rotation. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun to watch who comes out there and with being fresh, just continuously dominating. You know what I mean?
I think Jake,
Yeah.
man, I promise you, Jake. Shout out to Anitra. Good to
What's
see
going
you,
on, Mitra?
Anitra. Good to see you, sweetie. Thank you for coming. Shout out to Bishop Frank, big homie right there. Bishop Frank, man.
Bishop
Thank you,
Frank.
Bishop. We appreciate you, brother.
What up, dog?
Thank you for tapping in, man. This is what I believe, man. And
Mm-hmm.
Antoine, I know you be on that, man. Holler at me about this, Antoine. See what you think. When you talking about bodies, when you talking about bodies, we may have enough bodies on the defensive line in the front seven that we've had in a long time. We really didn't have to go after that many defensive line. That's why I wasn't really tripping when my man flipped again.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. We have so much depth in that deep, and
Yeah.
Jake just went over had some of it. Man, listen, can you imagine Jaheim Otis, Tim Keenan, Tim Smith?
Yeah.
Man, Quay Russell, they say, is having an outstanding
Dude,
fall camp.
they are like Womack's impressed with him, man.
If you see Quay Russell, this kid looks like a junior.
Dude, he's
The
jacked.
kid, like the kid looked like a damn junior.
He's big.
Like he's just a puppy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is going to have an outstanding career. They say Keon is gravitating to the new position. This defense is deep up front, brother. They're deep, man.
Deep.
And it's just game reps, guys. If we can get these guys game reps, you look at that, you look at the tight end position, which we just covered. I don't think people realize they say Danny Lewis is snapping,
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Oots, CJ Dupree, Ty Lockwood, man, listen,
Yeah.
we got so many different types. The young man who transferred in from Washington, um, they got so many different styles of tight end. What's up, Gary? How you doing, Gary? Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Good to see you,
Gary. And then
brother.
we got Davis Lewis Love. What's going on, man?
Yes, Davis,
Yeah.
man. How are you, man? Roll tide to you. So the future is, and I really believe, guys, this is part of the reason why Ty Simpson didn't transfer.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job to lose next year. I mean, Keelan Russell's coming in as a true freshman. It wouldn't even hurt Keelan to learn from Ty a couple of a year or so.
Oh yeah.
So Ty probably saw. Listen, man, Jalen, this is it for Milroe. It'll be my job to lose practically next year.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I got: Ryan Williams, Rico Scott. I said Rico Scott jumping out of the gym, catching
Dude.
balls.
Yeah.
Bro, the talent is stupid. Is stupid for the
Crazy.
future. Lynn says Pritchard and Formby tomorrow. Scrimmage will tell us exactly. See, Lynn, that's what I was talking about earlier with me, Jake, and Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's scrimmage, as far as that offensive line goes, will be vastly important. It's only 2 scrimmages. Offensive line is not a position to where you can fall behind a lot, right? It's good to rotate if you got the bodies, but you don't want to fall behind playing tackle in this offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pritchard and Formby's tomorrow scrimmage will tell us who takes that over. Pritchard looks more athletic. Quay Russell and Justin Jefferson look to me to be the best athletes on the team. Wow, right?
Yeah.
Watch out for this Quay Russell kid, man. This kid is an absolute. The dude looked like Javon Curse, if you ask me, just shorter. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's crazy when you think about the talent. Hey, Kimberly, good to
What's up,
see you. Good to see
Kimberly?
you.
What's up,
Thank you for
Goof?
tapping in, Kimberly. Kimberly's my partner right there. Kimberly,
Yeah.
love you to death. Goof, what's up with you, Goof? How you doing, man? So, man, listen, the talent is there, Jake. We talked about the defensive line. I want you to talk to the people about the actual middle linebacker spot. Now, I don't know how deep we are. I know we have Jihad, and I know we have our starter Deontay. I
Mm-hmm.
know backing up we have Jeremiah and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson fast as hell, just like Lynn just said.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are puppies as far as the game experience goes. But as far as starting middle linebackers, I think we have two of the best in the country. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. That linebacker group is definitely probably, I would say, the top two nationwide. But not just that, but you also look at the fact with these dudes from a standpoint of, they are really smart. They're really heads up players. You listen to Womack talk about this group, and he talks about, like, from a standpoint of saying, hey, like, these guys do a phenomenal job of understanding their assignment and communicating, which is key, right? That Mike backer position is so, man,
Yeah.
it's so interesting, right? Like, the way it works as far as communication wise in this defense, the way that it will play in gap assignment, right? Shoot, even the way it plays in coverage, but at the same time, having a guy there, right, in Lawson that you're just so solid with, you know, you just have to sit there and be like, God, thank you, because we have the defensive line to make the plays, right? But
Yeah.
to go to the second level and say, man, we got the linebackers that have the speed. Like, you look at Campbell right now and you watch the way he runs.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, Neil? How you doing, man? Roll Tide to you. But you watch Campbell, the film on Campbell right now when he's out there moving, it makes sense why he's a sting. Like, he's a stinger.
Yes.
Because the stinger in this defense is all meant to, he's your, like, be all over the field guy. That's what Stinger does. Like, your mic is, again, very, very important from a standpoint, communication wise, leadership wise, making sure we're in the right places. But at the same time, gap assignment, right? And within some of these blitz packages that we'll see. But I'll tell you, what's up, Nova Speed? How you doing? You're rhyming. What's up, dog?
Ryan Lemon, what's up, bro? How you doing, brother?
You look at that stinger position, and that linebacker has to be fast and has to be
Yes.
extremely athletic. And yeah, Davis, I see your comment in here. Davis says Coach Womack said Jefferson is the third starter at middle linebacker. 100%. And Jefferson looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But you also have Okoronkwo, right?
Yeah.
And dude, for a
That kid is
freshman,
gonna be very good, brother.
God,
Once he
dude,
finds out what the hell he's doing,
yeah,
man, look out. Look out, man.
like that kid. And well, they've said he looks really good. Like, he's very smart, right? I want players who are very, very smart. Like, of course, I want them
Yeah.
athletic and strong. Everyone's kind of at that level when you get to Division One. There's a lot of guys, right? And yeah, there's some separation. But I'll tell you, man, I want some really smart players. And so when we look at this depth chart, right, from a Mike standpoint, you got your boy Lawson, right? Love it. Alexander Jeremiah. Okay. I feel good. Jefferson is another guy who will rotate with your Sting,
Yeah.
right? And within maybe Jeremiah and Lawson, right?
Yeah.
So with just the three-man rotation there alone, you have to feel really confident. Behind there, right? You have your freshman, Sterling Dixon. He's a man back there, dude. Justin
Caden
Okoronkwo,
Jones, I think it is.
yeah, Caden Jones and QB Reese, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like Justin again is also rotating between your Sting and Bagman. What's up, dog? Between your Sting and your Mike, and that's kind
Yeah.
of the whole key of, like, what they're doing, right, recruiting wise. Um, that is going to be the biggest thing. What you're seeing, why they're going after guys like a Luke Metz, right?
Yeah.
Dawson Merritt. I mean, why they have an open spot waiting for Ty Jackson to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
Jaden Harmon, Abdul Sanders. These guys really fit that versatility where they can rotate between. Even Campbell, like, we could see something where maybe Campbell moves to a Mike where we're rotating and just getting a lot of repetition, but also
Yeah.
we're getting different looks because it provides you different looks, you
It
know.
does. Yeah.
And if I'll tell you, Randall Green, this is a hell of a comment. If Jefferson is looking like Harold Perkins, that is going to tell you right there that that linebacking core is studly, because they're bringing up that Jefferson does look really, really good.
Yeah.
But the fact that he can rotate between the two, that plays such a key, man. It's plays such a big role, right? Like big role, because we saw that at Washington a lot. Washington had some pretty decent linebackers for not having the for not thanks, Beg man, appreciate you, man. Um, for not having the I guess for not having the defensive line that they had at Washington, because Washington did not have an interior defensive line. Like, it was their weakest position by far. So it fell on the linebackers to make a lot of plays. But we saw like the rotation in a similar type defense. And we also know like what Chuck Morrell was able to do coaching those linebackers. Well, he's assisting Womack right now, right at Alabama. So he's there working. Womack and him are coaching the linebacking group.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge benefit, because Morel is a hell of a linebacker coach, man. So
Yes.
I mean, I'm just really excited to see this group in general, and I'm excited to see how guys play within the rotation, right? Like how they pair guys up too. That'll be fun to watch. Like who plays well with each other.
I'll say this, man. I'm excited about the young man. You know, we have so much talent as far as guys that can play different positions. And it's crazy, man, when you look at the type of defense that we're about to run.
Yeah,
When you look at the defense, the type of defense that we're about to run, and the type of player that coach is bringing in, it tells you what they're trying to do. Look at these guys, man, from Dawson Merritt to Jadon Harmon. Man, these guys are very athletic. They're linebackers, but these guys could go, they could play. These guys are very, very athletic people. It's changed so much. We talked about this earlier from the Sean Taylor. You still have thumpers, don't get it wrong,
yeah,
but you
100.
gotta your safeties have to be able to cover now, right? You have to be able to cover, man. That's why people like Jordan Battle and DeMarco Helms. These guys can go right into the NFL and play. You see, they
Mm-hmm.
both started Bengals and Falcons, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want you to talk, Jake, about King Mack, man. This kid I heard is probably the fastest on the team. This kid, once he figures out what he's doing at Bama, and he's just a freshman, if I'm not mistaken, right?
King Mack,
Redshirt
yeah,
freshman,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
freshman.
yeah. Well, yeah, King Mack is, um, dude, he's one hell of a player, man.
Yeah, very lucky to get that kid. Very lucky.
Very lucky. I think you look at King Mac, right? And he kind of fits like that perfect mold with him, about 5'10, 5'11,
Yeah,
between two, probably about, I would say right now, he's probably sitting 205 to 212, roughly right in there. He probably plays best right at 210 to 215, especially considering this is
yeah,
with Mac, right? Extremely fast. Yes, you're right. He's young. It's gonna be his sophomore season. Okay.
yeah,
I don't even know if he redshirted last year, but I'll tell you with him, man, the biggest thing's going to be is like getting into the flow of things. I think
yes,
when you see him start to pick up the concepts, when you've had like the spring for some of the other guys, they're going to be ahead, because there's been a lot of studying going on, because things are newer, right? Like newer
yeah,
terminology, some newer concepts you got to learn. So that's the biggest thing for him right now. That is with him. I love the fact that they're utilizing him in a sense that he could go and play free safety. He could
hmm
play the rover, but right now they're having him rotate. It looks like playing more of the husky.
yeah,
And I love that. I think it's a great position for him. If you have that speed, right? And you have that tenacity, you have that like playmaking ability. Everyone's talked about, type of recruit he was coming out of high school. And
yeah,
he's definitely a player. I think as soon as he gets up to speed and understanding the concept, getting out there, and they've talked about him that he looks really good. The biggest thing is, again, just kind of playing catch up in the learning, right?
yes,
And then just kind of getting in the flow and rhythm with your other guys. I think that's another thing too, right? Is within this defense, King's going to do a really good job once he kind of builds that familiarity with the way the guys play around him. That's a
Yeah.
huge part of it, right? But you need a safety back there, safety wise. Safety's got to be extremely smart, right? I mean, you just got to be one of those guys who knows, man. You have to have the ability to tackle. You got to communicate really
Yeah.
well. The way you read an offense, you kind of got to be that ball hawk, but also be flexible. And if you're
Yeah.
playing that husky position, that's a very versatile position. It makes sense why they put him there. Um, I think he's going to be a great addition. I think we're definitely going to see him push for playing time as he
I think
gets
so
the
too.
concept
Yeah.
under his belt. You know what I'm saying? But that husky position is pretty deep, man. You got to like look
Yeah.
at it now from where we were, right? Where we were at spring, and now you look at it, you got to be like, dang, dude, we're feeling pretty good there. Devontae
Yeah.
Smith looks amazing. Okay, like
Yeah. He
he's out there
balling.
looking balling. So does Red,
Mm-hmm.
and now you got King Mack in the rotation back there. Like,
Young cat.
dude, that you got to feel really happy about this secondary right now, but even
Yes.
going forward, man, because it's
Yeah.
going
The
to be really.
secondary. I think Jake in the future, in the very near future, the secondary will be the strength of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man. When you look at the talent, if we can keep all those kids, man, Jalen Mbakwe, King Mack, Xavier Mincy, Xavier Brown, man, them kids are all freshmen. Red Morgan, man, listen, they have the potential in the future to be the best secondary to come through Alabama, man. They have that potential in this defense. If all 4 or 5 of those kids, Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., if
Yeah.
all these kids stay at Bama, the secondary will be the strength of the team. They have some talent, man. It's unbelievable, man. I wanted to talk briefly, Jake, about this scrimmage tomorrow, guys. And I want
Mm-hmm.
people in the chat to what's up, Tim? Shout out to Tim Nolan, man. Good to see
What's
you,
up,
Tim.
Tim?
For sure, man. Rhyme Lemon. What's up with you, bro? Shout out to Oklahoma too, man.
Yeah,
Um,
Oklahoma's doing
I
so.
want you guys to talk about in the chat, if you will. I want to know what you want to see. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know what would you like, what superlative do you want to see? LaQuasia, what do you want to see for the scrimmage tomorrow? If you could get one thing that you want to see perfected, or not perfected, but the positive thing. For me, let me tell you mine really quickly. I talked about this today with Ty, and it's important to me. It's important to me that I see Caden Proctor put belt to ass.
Yeah.
Right? They say Caden I'm, I'm seeing where Caden is pancaking people. He's whipping people. Right? They say these guys had a lot of wins in practice. I want to see Caden put belt to ass. I talked about this morning because we know how it is. We know the young kids today. We understand NIL is a thing. We understand, sometimes you just can't turn those amounts of money down. But for a kid to make the mistake, and I call it a mistake because the kid admitted it was a mistake. Kid went to Iowa and realized, nah, it's not Bama over here.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, came back, took his lumps from the fans, took his lumps from the team, I can imagine, behind closed doors. But the love of Wilkin Formby, the love from Tyler Booker, those were his boys, right? He kicked it with them on the break. So to come back to Bama, take his lumps and go to practice, lose weight, and put belt to ass, you got to give that man his credit, man. Shout out to Pam. What's
What's
up,
up,
Pam? How
Pam?
you doing? Good to see you, Pam. Thank you for tapping in with us. Good to see you. Shout out to Lance Hunter. So for me, my number one thing, Chad, is I want to see the left tackle position solidified. I want Caden or somebody to step out there, protect Jalen Milroe's blind side, and put belt to ass. If you can't, what do you guys want to see? While Jake tells us the one thing he wants to see, what do you guys want to see? I want to know what you want to see from this scrimmage tomorrow. If you could say one thing, I want to see blank. What do you
Yeah.
think, Jake?
So for me, I would the biggest thing I want to see is the rhythm. If the offense is in
Mm,
rhythm, right, and the offensive line, like how they work together. So I would rather I already know Caden Proctor's in that position. Like mentally, he's there.
yeah,
They've all
mentally
talked
he's there.
about
Yeah,
like he's locked in, like he's playing some serious ball. So I don't even that's for me, it's not so much a question of like necessarily Caden Proctor, even though I think that's a great point of view where you're looking at. But I also
yeah,
want to see I feel good today in football, the defenses are constantly rotating, right?
yeah,
constantly rotating, especially in D line. You're seeing a lot of rotation to keep guys fresh.
Yes.
I would feel really good if we could get into something where we're able to rotate somewhat, even in the O line, and
Mm,
still keep consistency,
okay.
right? And so if that was the case, and I have three guys from a tackle standpoint, right, where I could rotate, that's where I feel like I would feel good having a third guy, like a
Yes.
Formby. Jay, what's up, Jay Townsend? What's going on, man? Jay
Yeah, I sent
Townsend
Uncle
in here,
Jay.
man.
I
Woo!
sent Jay the link. Jay,
Oh yeah, good
glad
man.
you in here, brother.
Good to see you, man. Missed you, dude.
Jake is talking about what he wants to see from the scrimmage tomorrow. LaQuasia, let me get LaQuasia. LaQuasia said, I asked her directly.
Yeah,
LaQuasia said, I need to see the defense make a statement early. Jake was speaking on that. Continue, Jake.
yeah. So that's I like how what you said, LaQuisha, because this goes into my point. So from the offensive standpoint, like I want to see the offensive line flow together, right? I don't want to
Yes.
see any. Granted, it is the first scrimmage, so I'm not like expecting some crazy perfection, but I am saying I want to see a jump, right? Like I want to see a jump in their overall understanding of the scheme, understanding of the blocking scheme, and I want to see it be a very more consistent, no matter who's in. That's what I want to see. No matter what guy's playing, especially in the tackle spots, whether it's Pritchett, Formby, or Caden, right?
Yeah.
Or even like a guy like Miles McVay, because we've heard about him too, doing well. So if those guys are able to stay up to speed and work together, that's going to be what's going to be fun to watch and see, right? Because if you have guys who can rotate from left to right tackle,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about versatility in all these other positions, but that's the truth also offensive line. That's why they're recruiting the way they're recruiting.
For
The
sure.
guys they're going after are versatile, right? What's up, Chris from New Jersey? Chris, man, hey, dude,
Chris from New
good to
Jersey.
see
What's
you,
up,
man.
bro? Good to
Yeah, I used
see
to
you,
call
man.
in all the time too, man. Chris is
Yeah,
a good dude,
man.
man. Love Chris. Hey, while you guys are here, just FYI, me and Sean both have channels now. So some of you we
Yes.
haven't seen for a long time. We would love for you guys to jump in, come subscribe to our channel, hit the bell notification so you can jump in with us, because we used to see you over all the time over at Bama Football on YouTube. Now we got our own channel, so come hang out with us when we go live and we do
Please,
anything live.
please.
Yeah. Mindset Tone College Football.
Hmm.
Coach Sean, JMHO Sports Talk. All right, so
Yes,
make sure
sir.
you guys jump in and come subscribe and say what's up
Please.
anytime. But
LaQuasia talked about the defense, Jake.
yeah, hmm
Mike says he wants to see the cheerleaders. That's not a bad thing, Mike. Lance says he wants to see explosive wide receiver play. I agree, Lance. I want to see.
dude,
I'd like to see Lance at least some guys really step up and make some plays. I do agree with that, Lance.
100.
Zachary says Miro's accuracy on intermediate pass in the intermediate passing game. Facts, all facts. And I think we will see that. I think they'll put him in a competent situation. That's going to be really interesting to see. Jeff says he wants to see the offensive line. That was our biggest problem last year. All facts.
hmm
Mike says O-line as a whole is going to be one to watch for sure. Uncle Jay, my brother said, "What's up, Coach Sean? Coach Jay, good to see you, Jay."
Yeah, man.
Let's see, Lance. I miss my ability to browse hit. Yeah, me too. Me too, Lance. I mean, anytime you can have that type of combination and it's going well,
Yeah,
that's a very, very good thing. Jay says, I'm driving now, but I'm listening to you all, talking to you on voice text. Man, be safe on them roads, Uncle Jay. We appreciate you so very much. You are greatly appreciated here. And that's why I had to send you the link, man. I had to see my brother. Hadn't talked to him but in a minute,
I
man.
love it,
Talked to
man.
him, called him the other day. Um, so yeah, man, Chris from New Jersey, good to see you, bro. What you want to see, Chris? If you could have one takeaway from this scrimmage tomorrow, what would it be? Jake wants to see the rotation on the defense, how it works. Me, I want to see somebody take hold of that left tackle spot. Any of the kind of like what Jake said, any of these tackle spots, somebody go out and play well, put belt to ass and lock it down.
Yeah.
And the rotation would be even better too.
hmm
Um, so yeah, man, it's several things, guys, that we could go over. Um, you know, Chris says, Coach, are they letting anyone? Nah, it's closed to the public, Chris. This one is, and you know what, Chris? I'm not even too mad about that
Yeah, no,
because he's probably thinking everybody's going to either over exaggerate or under it. close the first one to the public. That's okay. I'm not upset. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Just get it right. Just get it
Yeah.
right for me, man. Uncle
Yeah.
Jay says, Coach Sean, I want to see the running backs and Milroe perform. Facts.
Hmm.
Uncle Jay that's a man after my own heart. Running back, I'm sweet on that position, of course. Definitely want to see Justice break one. Definitely
Yeah.
want to see Jam break one. I'm gonna tell you who I really like though. I like Kevin Riley too.
Yeah, man.
Kevin Riley, man, he can scoot, man.
Yeah, you can.
He can scoot. Kevin is going to have a big future if he stick with Bama. Daniel Hill is the thumper. That kid can catch. He'll run over you and catch the ball in your face. Coach Al, what's up, Coach Al? How you doing? Coach Al says, Coach Al, you got to get on this link, man.
Dude,
We got to
seriously.
get you on here,
We've been
brother. You
talking
just let
about
me
that.
know when. We all been talking about it. We got to get Coach Al up here,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Coach Al says would love to see a win-win situation with our edge guys versus our tackles to
Hmm.
elevate their game. Facts, and I get what Coach is saying.
Yep.
Couple of wins for the defense, couple of pancakes for the tackle. You
Yep.
just don't want to see us giving up sack after sack after sack, and you don't want to see us not be able to get the quarterback at all, right? Kind
Hmm.
of an even balance. Really, really good hard practice. I agree. I agree 1,000%, Coach Al. Southern Red, Mike Ford. So Lynn says, Richard Young looking the part. Man, hey, Lynn, Jake talked about this on our other show. He said, I heard that this kid, Richard Young, is losing his mind out there,
Dude.
right? What you think about that, Jake?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and Bagman, that's JMHO for
Yeah.
the sports. He's asking what your channel is, coach. So,
Just
um,
my humble opinion. JMHO Sports Talk.
mhm. Yeah, let's just check that out. So yeah, Richard Young looks really good. All the points everyone's making in the chat right now regarding what you guys want to see, they're all really really good points. I love the
Yeah.
win-wins. It sounded like some of that happened the other day in practice. There was the defense kind of got messed up a little bit in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then came back in practice and made the adjustments. Exactly what you want to see, right? That's a win-win for the day because then
Yes.
they were putting it back on the offensive line. That's stuff we need to see. So that's kind of it's going to be really fun to watch, right? Like we want to see the wide receivers get their wins. Who's going to be explosive, right? Who's going to be able to
Yes.
separate? Who's running the route progression the right way
Hmm.
with the detail that they teach it? Because we have to
Yes.
remember, dude, Shepard teaches these route progression. He teaches it with there's a lot of detail in the way you're running a route. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot. And so I'll tell you right now, like that's going to be fun to see who emerges regarding being consistent with their route running and not getting lazy as it gets throughout the day of practice. Because you can get right, that heat beats down, you're tired, you can form goes out the window. It's like we talk about it when you're working out in the gym. Maintaining form allows you to gain the most muscle, right? It
Yes.
gets you to where you need to go. But you can see guys when they put too much weight on, right? Their form, like when they're bench pressing, their elbows start to flare out because it's just too much. So when we look at it right from the standpoint, you have to sit there and be like, okay, who's going to stay consistent even when they're tired, right? And that's why you look at this running back room, you got to be so excited because you look at for your first two, right? You love what Jam brings, you love what Justice brings, but then you got like Richard Young, and I'm going to tell you what, when I saw the film on Richard Young, I sat there and I was like, damn, what number, who is that again? And
Yeah.
I had to go back and rewatch and pull up the depth chart because everyone's kind of rotated numbers and whatnot. So I'm making sure I have all the right numbers down. I'm like, damn, that's Richard Young. Dude, that guy looks freaking explosive.
Yeah. Richard may be, far as pad level, he may be a little more physical runner than Justice and Jam.
You want to talk about the way he uses his upper body when he's running with his
Yes.
lower body, though? That's what's
Facts.
impressive.
Yes.
His upper body control and strength.
Yes.
When you see a running back be able to be fluid, smooth, sharp with their cuts, and explosive, but still have the strength in their upper body when they throw a stiff arm or when they shift their upper body or lower their pad, look just strong.
Josh
You're
Jacobs.
going, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
You're
That
going,
cat,
whoa.
man. I pick with my brother Najee. Najee's my brother. I love him to death. I always say Najee is a Dalvin Tomlinson, Le'Veon
Yes.
Bell in a bigger body.
Yes.
Najee want to juke and jump, and if Najee ran like Josh, man, Josh, go back. I said this before last week. Go back to that Oklahoma game. He could have easily just strolled to the end zone, juked him. He chose contact. He chose to destroy that safety. Got Coach Carr from his car. I think it popped off. Come back, Coach, if you can. I think it popped off. Um, Richard may be a little more physical in, like Jake said, in the pad level and in
Mm.
understanding how to run behind it. Justice and Jam are very, very similar. Jump cut, explode through the hole, tight backs. Um, Richard may be a little more with that wham, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Coach Carl in the car coming from practice. What you got, Coach? How you doing?
What's going on, man? I actually ain't left practice yet, man. I'm headed to practice.
Oh, you headed to practice.
Yeah,
Okay.
You
we gonna
stopping in to say
Okay.
what's up for us, man?
we having Friday night practice over trying to get these kids in for Friday night lights.
I like it,
When do
man.
you guys season start? Is it week after next or
I heard that. I'm
when do you guys season start, Coach?
in in 3 weeks,
3 weeks. Okay.
31st.
Cool. Okay. Got you. What we talking about, Coach, is from that scrimmage tomorrow. Give me one thing, Coach Carr, that you want to see. If you could pick one thing out of the whole squad, what do you got your eye on that you would like to see the most?
How my DBs play.
How the DBs play. Facts.
Yeah, how the DB play. Are they gonna be? Are they playing off coverage or in most situations? Or are they gonna be playing tight coverage, press coverage? They do a whole lot of man zone.
Yeah.
What type of zone pass all the DBs are doing? What are the safeties doing? Who's starring that safety? That's the key. Who my uh, who my first who my first two corner that they roll out like? If they gonna roll
Yeah.
out Jackson and Deshaun Jones, or is they Mincy gonna get in there and take over that spot? That's what I want to see. Who the two corners are and how they playing coverage. Are they playing zone coverage, man to man? They playing pass over, or they gonna ride? Or they riding everybody through the zone, and then they dropping back and setting into their zone. It just depends on how they playing that 4-2-5 in them coverages, man. 'Cause that'll be the main thing. That's gonna tell you how the season gonna turn out. Whether they
Mm,
whether they ride them into another zone and passing them off, or they carrying them all the way across the zone and then they replacing each other, like they swapping zone.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's a man. That's a you 100% the different coverage types. I do think what you'll see from this standpoint regarding carrying through the zones. I don't know if you're going to see a whole lot of that, just because you are going to see more of like a where the coverage is going to be a lot about like the space, right? Like, okay, not we have this area of the field based on this that we're calling, this play that we're calling, this defends these things. So when you break this down in a learning concept, right, you're saying, okay, this is the defense we're running because it defends against these things. So what plays can beat us, right? So
yeah.
now let's break it down to what can beat us. Okay, if that's the case, if that can beat us, how do we put ourselves in a position where we make a play within that space, right? And that we can still control do exactly what we're assigned to do and what we're trying to stop, right? So I think what you'll see again with this vision coverage, again, you're protecting space, but then within that space, somewhat matching, continuing not to let your cushion be destroyed, right? We've
Yeah.
talked about that earlier, Coach Sean.
Yes.
Not letting your cushion be collapsed, and then within that, you are not falling to bad technique. That is I think going to be such a big key in all of this is for these DBs. And I want to see Pat Obar, what's going on. You said I want the quarterbacks to make plays. That's the biggest question mark. I want them to make plays too, 100%. That's why I really want to see our receiver group be so just disciplined in what they're doing, route running, and pushing those cornerbacks in pushing that secondary in the pass game. Because if they're pushing them to be disciplined and to keep their technique, and to see these little things, and the receivers are running these routes the way they're taught to run them, then we're going to see massive progression really fast within a few weeks, within a month, right? Prep to that first game. So I like it, man. I like where everybody's coming out with that for sure.
I do too. Coach Carl, if you got time, give me your starting four. Give me your two inside guys, your bandit, and your wolf.
With the Miller, I'd rather see in the middle. I'd rather see Jahad Cameron and Deontay Lawson in the middle.
I mean, defensive front. My bad. I'm sorry. Just your defensive front.
My defensive front, man, right now, I'd say Tim King III and Jaheim Otis right now.
Okay.
At the end, I think at that defensive end point, I'd rather see LT Ovena or Keon Keeley because they're more big physical body size. My bandit and my wheel. That's a good question, man. Because my bandit and my jack. So you got so many athletic guys on the end, man. So let's see. That bandit is more of a coverage type of linebacker. So that's a good question. Let me think about that bandit, but that outside jack linebacker, man, I'd rather see Q go first. He been there for a while. No, Q.
You mean Quindarius Robinson?
Q Robinson. He been there.
Yeah, Quindarius. Okay.
So yeah, I think Q deserved his shot at that jack for the start, man.
And in this defense, that jack and that wolf is the same thing. Am I wrong? Right?
Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
similar position.
It's a wolf. Yeah, it's a wolf.
Yeah, similar spots or whatever case may be. Yeah. What about you, Jake? That defensive front.
Yeah, man. I can tell you at Bandit, like I'd love to see Overton be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see LT be that guy. I mean, he has the ability to do so for sure. And then I'd like to see Keeley really step in to maximize, that ability and that speed and strength, especially if with him putting on the size he's put on. Man. But at the same time, here's the other thing, right? It's like Latham. Okay. Like Latham should be that guy at Bandit, right? Like he should be that guy, right? So, but I like where you're at. I think you got Jaheim Otis. I think he's your nose tackle. I think he causes the most disruption. They have to double team him. So he's your one technique. And that's what you want there. You want the guy who's going to be disrupted the most, right? In your one technique. Because your three technique, you want to be able to use him to maybe, whatever different stunts you're going to run, you want to be able to use him, man, to get after it, right? Like to get after that QB. And I like where I love where Coach is coming from, Coach Carl, where he's coming from with like Tim Smith, you know what I'm saying? So it will be fun to see again. I have my starters, but those starters could change game to game because of the rotation.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be the same. And then when we get out to that wolf position, who gives me the most versatility? I don't care. I don't care which one of them start. So it's hard for me to pick. I'm going to be honest with you. I almost go with Keanu Coat.
Keanu. Forgot about Keanu. Yeah.
Like Coat, he's made some, he's been really, really good. And, Q Rusa, again, I can't stress enough how impressive he is athletically, right? So who gives me the ability to, with my overhang on that side, to be a coverage guy or a blitz guy, right? Who can disguise the most? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about like who's most versatile, because you in that position, you allow me to hide a lot more of what I'm going to do, therefore making me most likely more successful. So as a coordinator, right? So so that's I don't even know if I could sit there and pick. I can tell you from a cornerback standpoint that we're already seeing the fact there's probably going to be Xavier Brown and Damani Jackson as your starters, which makes
modern day starters, modern day kids.
Yeah.
For me, man, here's a question, Jake. Here's a question, Carl. We know Tim Keenan is going to be there.
Hmm.
Beside Tim Keenan, I need to know whose motor is going to stay running longest, Tim
Oh,
Smith
yes.
or Jaheim Otis.
Yep.
Tim Smith can play the position, but Tim's motor seemed like it. I don't know, man. On 3 or 4 plays, Tim looked like he just unstoppable. Then it's almost like I don't know if he. I don't know what it is. Jaheim, when he's healthy, is killer, right? So we
Mm,
have the bodies. We have the bodies, and just so the people know, just because you start really don't mean nothing. You could start 2 plays, come out, and the other guy can play the rest of the game, right?
yeah.
We have so many defensive guys in that defensive front who are versatile, who can all play the same position. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this go. Right?
Hmm.
Very, very interesting. I know Tim Keenan is probably the one kid who will be the holdover and won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Coach Al says I think Keanu Court and Q Rob will be the starters at Wolf, but
Yeah.
Russaw is different than both of those guys. Yeah, Quay Russaw is a puppy, and that kid is young and he's hungry. And the kid, like I said, the kid looked like he a damn junior.
Oh, he's a
The kid,
beast.
yes, man. The kid, it's almost unbelievable to see how this kid is put together, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
James Smith, his high school teammate, will be another killer in that
Hmm.
defensive front.
Yes, he will.
So let the haters say what they want, man. Alabama has multiple choices at all these positions. These guys can play. For me, if you had one concern, guys, and not necessarily a concern thinking something bad is going to happen, but a concern to keep your eye on. For me, it would probably have to be the corners only because they're young, right?
Mm,
We
yeah.
know how that go, Jake. You know better than anybody when you're young, Coach Carl, how when you're young, how it is, right? If you had to have one, not really a concern, guys, but just one area of I gotta watch that. What's yours, Coach Carl?
Like you said, coach, it's the corners.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
100% corners. Everything else we got a little experience in, except that corner. The two starting corners just getting to Alabama this year.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger question mark on the whole team right now. It's the corners.
Mm.
I would feel a whole lot better about our cornerback position if we had retained two kids from last year team. I would have felt a whole lot better if we had
Yeah.
two kids from last year coming back that play a lot of time that came back. Like Trey Amos. Why would Trey Amos transfer out to be a backup when you had a
Right.
starting spot locked up in Alabama? That's a big
Right.
question. He transferred out to be a backup. You had Dez Rich trans out to be a backup. Like all these corner transfer out now, they still backups.
Hmm.
And you could probably have a chance to start here.
That's a fact.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you're gone. Now we get a chance to live with that with our freshmen. And I think either like I said, I think Xavier Brown gonna start. Missy might have a chance in there, but don't sleep on Botway because Bot may be the most polished guy we got right now from things that we're hearing coming out of T Town. But the corners, yeah, I think the corners gonna be the biggest issue, man, that we have in these first two scrimmages before the season starts.
Mm. What you think, Jake?
Yeah, man. Biggest concern. Biggest concern. Obviously, I guess the biggest thing to watch, for me,
Yeah.
because um, they would have to be. Obviously, I think everyone has probably going to have the same question on this, or same answer, but it's going to definitely be the secondary, and it's not
Mm.
so much a matter of how well they play; it's more how well they communicate together. Like how well do they
Communication.
gel?
Facts.
Because
Facts.
that's a secondary works really, really well when they gel, right?
Yeah.
Like that they understand the concept of like, okay, where is my help? Do I have help? Right?
Yes.
We talked about this earlier with the way this Tennessee spreads out the defense,
Yes.
and now based on your alignment, because we talk about, there's the 5-1 bottom rule. A lot of people talk about,
Yeah.
and that rule is regarding where you're lining up based on that 5-1 bottom are the lines, right? The hidden lines that you draw down the field and in a vertical way that based on where the ball is, you line up a certain way, because within those rules tell you, based on if you line up, if you have help or if you don't, in whether it's the middle or outside, right? But makes basically the middle to your safety. And if you don't, there's a reason why you line up a certain way, so you can you take away certain parts of the route tree. So I'll tell you, man, like if those guys really understand those key pieces within the vision coverage, because those are pieces coming back from, Saban's defense that will still stay in place, but then also apply them in the simplistic terms of like the vision coverage, man, then we can be really, really good. And that's again coming down to the communication and the gelling. Because if some guy maybe misses something, how are they communicating? How are they quickly correcting it going forward? So that's going to be
Thanks.
big for me to watch, man, with the secondary.
All facts, man. All facts. Chris from New Jersey says, Coaches, sorry, I have to ask, how do you guys think Ryan Williams does early in the season? Chris, you already know, brother. We got you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really quickly for me, I think Ryan is going to be well. I don't think route running and catching will be his, that he can do that with his eyes closed. I think how Ryan attacks his body, and Jake said he saw the kid had already looked like he could put on some weight, how he attacks his body, how Ryan gets ready for the college season. Because to me, the toughest thing for a high school receiver, being an offensive guy, in college, they have a hard time. Everybody play press.
Yeah.
Like a lot of most, I'm gonna say everybody, most corners can play press. And in high school, it's very easy to release. It's very easy to get off the line of scrimmage. Very easy for a
Mm-hmm.
kid like that. In college, it's going to be a little different. These
Yeah.
guys can play, getting off the line. You've seen in the A-Day game, Caleb Odom had an issue getting off the line of scrimmage. Whenever he, ran a route, he had
Yeah.
a problem getting off
Mm-hmm.
press coverage.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference in college football. What do you think, Coach Carr? I know you practice. What you think Ryan Williams will do early in his career at Alabama?
Like, Coach, are you there? Or... All right.
Go ahead, Jake. What you think
Well,
Ryan will do?
here's where we're at. No, man. Way Off Sides, what's going on? If you guys haven't checked them out, they're great. Tommy Bryan, good to see you, man. See some faces in here I haven't seen before. Bob, what's going on, my friend? Bob K. Spray, what
Way
up,
off
Bob?
sides.
Yeah,
Definitely tap in with Way Off Sides.
Yeah,
These
they do
guys
good
got a
stuff.
great podcast.
100.
Great content, man. Definitely tap in with these guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Yeah, they're
Shout
fun
out
to
to
listen
Way
to.
Off Sides, man.
Yeah, Henry Campbell, what's going on, man? Ty Does Moto, what's up? So a lot of good people,
Ty Does
man.
Moto,
Love it.
Al.
But I'll tell you, Coach Sean, it's interesting, and yeah, for sure, we definitely love shouting you guys out. I think with Ryan, right, we've seen how explosive he is in practice already. I mean, he had a great play the other day. We all saw it over Zabian Brown, right? Zabian was in a good position, but I thought it was funny because Zabian pulled one of those things where young guys do, where they look straight back, like the ball's coming over, and you're looking for, you hear the ball call, and instead of turning your body and using
your body
and feel, using the feel, right?
Yes.
Not pass interference, but there's a style of, like, depending on where you're at, you hear the ball call, he's in the corner. If I'm underneath of him, and I don't know where he was supposed to be, if typically that's played at the corner should be at the top of the route, right?
Right.
Almost shoulder to shoulder, playing out. So he's turning into the inside, but he looked straight back, and that's where he got. Ryan made this amazing catch. It was great.
Yes.
So I think, man, I'll tell you, Ryan, I think he's a generational athlete, right? In the sense of, you watch the way he runs routes, how smooth he is. But at the same time, he's doing a great job of sticking and playing the basics, not trying to do more than just play what he's supposed to, or do what he's supposed to do. That's going to be key for him. Oh, man, I like it. I love this question too. Branch, what's going on? Shalamar Branch, what's up, man? So Ryan, I think is great. How do I think he'll implement? I think you will see some time with him on the field. I think you're going to get him on the field. I really
think you have to. Yeah,
you do. I mean, and he's just progressing so quickly.
Yeah.
I think there's a number of freshmen you're going to see get on the field. Like this might be one of the deepest wide receiver rotations Kalen DeBoer has ever had.
Yeah.
in any of his times. He's ran it pretty deep before, but he's never had this much that he can work with. But it's a matter though, which is awesome because you want to keep those guys as fresh as can be, right? Just continuously be explosive, so we don't fall into like that laziness, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely Coach Carl's coaching now. We might want to let it bounce him out. See, Coach
Coach,
Carl,
coach,
have a
you
good
there?
practice, man.
Hey man, I gotta get these guys firing off the ball, man. I gotta get them firing off the ball.
Hey, you do
All
your
right,
thing, man.
coach. All right, coach. All right, coach.
See you later, man.
All right, brother. Be safe, coach.
All
Peace.
right, man. Y'all be good out there.
You
All
too,
right,
man.
brother.
That's funny, man. He's out there practicing now. I
Yeah, I
love it.
love it, man. I
But I'll
miss it
tell
too,
you,
bro. Just watching
yeah,
it, I
no,
miss it.
dude, I love it when he
Man,
jumps in with us, man.
yeah.
But Ryan's gonna be one of those guys, like you said, Coach. It's gonna be interesting to see, how well he's able
Mhm.
to get off the ball using whether it's strength or
Yes,
speed,
sir.
right? It's funny because cornerbacks get really good at staying square in
Thanks.
in college,
Yes,
where they don't. That's not taught so much in high school
at all. Not
at
not not
all.
in most places.
It's all
Yes,
about the
thanks.
longer you stay square, the most likely
Hmm.
you're going to win, right? So, without giving away, obviously letting your cushion collapse too fast.
Right.
So, man, I'll tell you, it's going to be. I think Ryan's going to do great. I just think it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see how they work him in, where they work him in. I probably see him in a lot of slot play. So,
Thanks. And DBs in college, man, they understand footwork. They understand how to play leverage on you. They watch film on you. They understand how to scooch, how to backpedal. It's different things DBs in college will do to take your strengths from you, especially the good ones. Shalimar asks about Cole Adams. I think Cole Adams, from what Shepard says, Cole is going to have a big role. Him and Jalen Mbakwe on special teams. I think Cole is what I like about Cole Adams is he has short area quickness. You
boom.
need that. You
Yes.
need short area quickness to run in this offense, especially that will bode well for him in this offense, man. We talked about earlier today, me and Jake with Ty, shout out to Ty. Um, with like just for example, Tennessee. Tennessee loves to run these wide splits, man, to create space.
Yeah.
These guys love to split you out really, really, really wide to take away from you putting people in the box. They want you to have space. They want to create space to allow their athletes to do what they do, right? I do believe in my heart there's a great, great opportunity for Cole to play because we do a lot of the same things,
Mm-hmm.
right? We do a lot of the same things with different formations, lots of different pass options wrapped in these plays. So even if it's the same set and you think the same play is coming, it may be called the same run play, but it's a pass option in there as well.
Yeah.
So you really can't overplay this offense or we're gonna bite you. It's just gonna be interesting, guys. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see these young players, not just Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
They say Rico Scott is doing some great things. Jared
100.
Hamilton, somebody told me that Jared Hamilton, is that his name? Jared Hamilton has gotten open better than anybody, but I heard he's just dropping the ball right now.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
They say this kid is like lightning quick, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a bigger kid.
Yep.
Um, so it's gonna always be things to work on, but the talent is the cupboard is not bare, guys,
Mm-hmm.
by no stretch of the imagination. So I think repetition is what these guys need, practice time against a competent defense, competition, man,
Yep.
competition,
Yep.
challenge each other, hold
100.
each other accountable, and I think that is what you're going to see, and I think that is what's going to happen, Jake. What you think?
No, I think you're right. With Cole Adams, do I think he's going to play? Yes, I do. I mean, from what we've heard, Cole has done a very good job of picking up on so real quick on the concept, but real quick, what Shepard teaches through the route progression, right, is that the way you're running your route, that you're hunting for space, but you're staying disciplined in the technique to not give it away to the cornerback and safeties, right?
Yeah,
So it allows you to hunt for space, right? You're a taker,
it's a fact.
right? So you're getting out there and you're working through, you know what I'm saying? Working through that progression. And the way you run that route is very disciplined in the technique, right? The technique and all of it. You see it all. There's a lot of stuff coming out about route running and why
Right.
they run certain ways, right? What the movements are, what your body's doing,
Yes.
how the cornerback is playing you. Then this is, you go into this style, right, of running, and how you can get them to think one way when you're doing something different. Washington's wide receivers, man, they were phenomenal at that.
Phenomenal.
They were
And
very,
attacking the
very
top
good.
of the route. Attacking the top of the route, man.
100.
People
100.
don't. I've explained that 1,000 times, Jake, and I still get inboxes right now. I can show you, Coach. What are you talking about? I use the same example because I think the dig and Coach Al, you know what I'm saying. Jake, Coach Carl, these guys know JLB. Lynn. These guys understand Randall. I use the dig route because it's a very simple route, right? I use the dig route where you run, you cut in, just a dig, simple
Mm-hmm.
dig route.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying by attack the top of the route, I've talked about this chicken so many times. It's not certain receivers just want to release hard. They want to release really hard and break down really hard, and then they'll just kind of casually float to the inside and wait for the quarterback to put. No, you got to attack the second part of the route, the top of the route. That's what Jake is talking about. You have to attack that thing just as well as you did the release of the route. When you
Mm-hmm.
running that dig route and you break down and you come out of your break and you attack the middle of the field or
Yeah.
however you running your dig, you got to attack that route just as much as you did the release. And after you attack the top of the route, I said before, this is what made Devontae Smith outstanding to me. When Devontae would run that dig and he'd attack the top of that route, man, he could position himself. He didn't wait for Mack to throw him open.
Mm-hmm.
He understood where's the safety at? Is he
Yeah.
behind me? Is he in my hip? Is he in front of me? This kid knew how to place himself within the route to get open. He didn't wait for the quarterback to throw him open,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So I think the receivers have to learn that in college. If you learn that aspect of college football, you'll be a very successful receiver, especially in an offense like this.
Well, that's funny you say that, because like, how does, from the wide receiver, like, right, we talk about Cole Adams, he's
Yeah,
doing a very good job of that right now, so that's
facts.
why we say he's going to play, and he looks really well. I mean, as far as understanding the concept of the offense. But how does this play into like Jalen Milroe, right, and like
Yes,
his progression? Because we're not waiting for like last year, right? Maybe quarterbacks, they're throwing them open a lot. We've had the comments in there. I want to see Jalen Milroe with the underneath, not these deep balls. I'll tell you right now, when you watch film on Jalen Milroe throw that ball underneath, he's throwing it with confidence.
mm,
That's completely different than what you see in the past. He is he's looking, sees it, boom. It's that his form, the way he is zipping the ball in there, where he's putting the ball. I've talked about the square from the sternum just to the top of the head to the outside of the shoulders, right? Let's put it in a square. Okay, put it through the window, right? I love that. Well, what that does when you're talking about, you know, getting to the top of the route, attacking it, hunting for space, is now as everything flows like this offense does into Jalen's vision, okay, based on what he knows. So he positions himself, the routes flow into the vision. Boom. I'll tell you right now, he is going to feel real confident of putting that ball into the space that he knows the wide receivers are creating at the top of the route based on the way they're moving. Okay, so it's going to be fun to watch, man. We'll be able to really get into this as we go through the season. We guys get to see like game film, and we get to come back and break that down for you guys, because that's going to be fun for you guys to see the different examples of what we're talking about. But like it's exciting, man. It's exciting to see these guys. And James Richards, what's up, man?
shout out to
What's going on?
James. Shout out to UGA. What's up with you, James? How you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? What y'all boys doing over there in Georgia, man? How y'all looking, bro? How y'all looking, bro? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I think Jalen Milroe, man, listen, and maybe this is just the optimist, the offensive optimist in me. There were several things we did last year that I didn't understand. Me, Coach Al, Coach Smook, offensive guy, we all got together. We would just be talking about it, man. I just never like it would be 3rd and 7, and we run a play action pass, damn high low. You know what I'm
Like
saying? Like
why?
first, yeah, like what the hell you running play action for on 3rd down? They're coming.
One hundred
And we get
percent.
sacked for 5 yards in the back. I'm like, bro, I would get so frustrated with some of the play calls, right? So this offense, the board does a great job. We've talked about it in length, man. I've watched these guys countless hours of film on these guys, man. And I love, brother. I just love how they attack the secondary. I love how they make you play them honest. You know, I guess the best way to put it is we talked about it before, Jake, is play single high safety coverage against this offense at your own apparel.
Yeah,
At
that's
your own apparel. Right? And
100,
you
man.
can't stop the run. We running with justice and jam, and you have to commit a safety. Brother, I'll take that any day, Jake.
Any
Any
day.
day of the week, I'll take that.
You better have some really strong corners who can play man,
Boom.
who can play
Yes.
man. Like,
Yes.
and they're probably going to have to end up playing a lot of gosh, I'm blanking on terms tonight, but they're having to have to play a lot of off man, right? Coverage.
Yes.
So
Fact.
you're already going to give up. You're already going to give them a cushion to work with, so there won't be that jam at the line of scrimmage. So yeah, 100%. James is a good dude, man. Hey,
Oh
look, at the
yeah,
end of the
James
day,
the
just
homie.
like the Oklahoma boys in here, man. We got
Yeah,
respect for
James.
everyone.
James a real fan. He loves his team. He supports them. And he
Yep.
don't just be in here trolling and doing all that kind of crazy stuff. I love James to death, man.
Yeah,
He's
no,
super
good
welcome.
dude, man. Good
Super
dude.
welcome.
Yeah, just like our boys from the from Oklahoma. But I'll tell
Yeah.
you
Facts.
is it's interesting because you're right, when they play that single high safety, right? Now that safety is going to have to commit somewhere, right? And then
Yeah.
most likely he's going to commit to the field side, right? Because he's going to either sit in a position where he's going to have to bracket, or he's going to have to play a lot of that man free. It's going to be really interesting. What's up, Big Orange? How you doing, man? It's going to be really, really interesting to see how they decide to commit the resources, because last year teams could cheat against DeBoer's offense just from the standpoint that the running game did not really become existent until later into the season. So you saw teams get to cheat a little bit and play with their safeties and dropping into these pockets. Granted, they still got picked apart, but man, I'll tell you, it was really, really interesting. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate you, man. Like I said,
Chris, man.
everybody in here who hasn't subscribed, either me or Coach Sean's channel, come check it out. Hit your notification so you know when we go live, because we're going to be doing this way more. There's a lot of stuff we'll be doing, and yeah, we want you guys to all come and join in. So
yes,
we love it. But yeah, so that's going to be probably one of the more interesting things to watch when you do have such a dynamic rushing attack, but then Milroe's also a threat with his legs.
Post corners, baby.
Dude,
that's my favorite route of all.
I know, 100%.
Bruh,
run right. Yeah.
When I see a post, I get excited.
Yeah.
When I see a post turn into a corner,
yeah,
brother, I'm ready to run through the damn TV now. Boy, look at them. Look, Jalen can throw the damn post corner, bro. Listen, that if the safety closes distance on a post, we run in the post corner. We putting the foot in the ground and we hitting that corner. If he does not close distance, I throw the post. He's behind us. Throw the post. Throw that thing, man. Hey James, this is what we got George on a few times. George is very aggressive, bro. Like, they're aggressive. Like, you almost have to live or die against Georgia. You may die a few times against the defense like that, but you gotta try, man. You gotta try. Georgia, one of those kind of teams. I love playing teams like that, because Bama's like that. You gotta just go for the damn juggler, bro, or get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So if you running that post and you're in single high safety,
yeah,
your safety aggressive. He coming down on that post, man. You put your foot in the ground. You hit that post corner, man. Jake, already know. Turn them around, bro.
There goes your bracket. Just got blown up.
There goes your over with. Facts. Gone. You know what I'm saying?
Dude. Yes.
So,
I mean, you spot on.
I love it, bro. I can't wait for it. Jalen is gonna have. We talk about this all the time. What's up, Joey? How you doing, man?
What's up, Joey?
Oh, tied to Joey, man. It's gonna be interesting, man. And James in here. James, it's gonna be interesting, brother. Red said it for September 28th?
Yeah.
I'm just happy, James, we play y'all in Bama, right?
Yeah,
in Bama. I really am ecstatic about that. Georgia's gonna come in here with something to prove, bro. They're probably gonna be undefeated by that time. We'll be undefeated, God willing, both teams. If both teams are undefeated, that may possibly be the most watched college football game in the last couple of years.
Oh, for
Regular
sure.
season.
Yeah.
Regular season. I can guarantee you everybody and their mama would be tuned into that game. Um, a lot of eggs on the line because Kirby don't want to lose to Bama again with a different coach. Even though we possibly could end up if everything works the way we think, Jake talked
Hmm.
about it before, we could possibly play each other a maximum of what, 3 times, Jake?
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah, 100% with the 12-team playoff, you could definitely
Hmm.
play maximum of 3 times. It's funny because we saw it's like I love doing this analogy. We saw DeBoer go against the young dark Sith, right? Of
Yeah,
Kirby
yeah,
Smart, okay?
yeah.
Right,
He's a
right?
dark Sith.
The dark Sith, the young one, right? He fights
Yeah.
him early
Facts.
on, right? We saw
Facts.
DeBoer, they did their battle, right?
Facts of the
The
mayor.
newest one, and DeBoer won. So now he gets to fight, the prime master, right? And Kirby Smart. And it's going to be very entertaining. It's almost like a damn movie, right? So it's pretty, man, I'll tell you, it's exciting. Super, super exciting. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, man. A lot of fun. I got a lot of respect for Kirby Smart in Georgia, man.
Oh
What
yeah,
they do,
facts.
yeah. I mean, Kirby's
Jane,
played safe, so
Randall, just tap in with us, brother. Just subscribe to Jake's channel, subscribe to this one, subscribe to
yeah, man.
Ties, subscribe to Triple A and Coach Smoot,
Hmm.
Jance, all the great channels, man. We try to put out good content and keep it real. We don't try to be, we just try to be honest and give our takes as it's just our humble opinion. That's all it is, man. All of us, we were lucky enough to play the game, coach the game. We just giving our humble opinion and we just try to give it to you straight.
Hmm.
Um, I believe that too, Jake, man. I think it's gonna be a great season, guys. I think this scrimmage will really be the door that opens to let us know where we're at. I think Coach DeBoer is doing a great job. This staff has done, Jake, is about as best job as they can possibly do.
100.
I'm excited for the season. James, I know you guys are excited down there in Athens, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Crazy.
Lot
Uh,
of football this year, guys, with possible 16, 17 games, man. A lot of
Dude,
football, Jake.
you know what? That's a man. There's so much to watch. There's so many storylines to watch. Besides Alabama, you have like Alabama's, the one where you and me are both very, very passionate about, right? But I think in general, we're both also passionate about football, especially college football. So
Facts.
you look at the storyline of Alabama, you look at the storyline of Georgia without McConkey, right? Without Bowers.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's an interesting one for sure. Georgia's going to be good.
yeah.
Where does their productivity go to? So be
Facts.
interesting, right? You look at the storyline of even LSU, like LSU defensively they do not look the part. Like they do not have the depth to
Yeah,
be what some people are saying. Oh man, LSU is going to be freaking stud late. Whoa, timeout.
yeah.
LSU will have their offense will be good because they have an amazing offensive line.
Facts.
They have a great offensive line. We look at the storyline of Oklahoma. There's a lot of people doubting Oklahoma. Oklahoma right now is coming together very, very strong. They have a deep
Mhm.
wide receiver room, even though they just had a sadly an injury in practice to one of their stud wide receivers. It's sad, but at the same time, they have a deep
Deep.
wide receiver room. They're
Yeah, they
not
deep.
they're not
Yeah,
necessarily losing out on anything, right? And it sounds like their offensive line is coming together fairly well through fall ball. So, and their defense is the depth at their defense is very good. So Brent Venables year 3, very interesting storyline to watch. Even
yeah.
you could hop over to the Big Ten. Does Oregon finally become that team? And could they upset could they upset Ohio State? Something to pay attention to because the
Some young
explosiveness is
talent
there.
in Oregon. Oregon is doing some, listen, man. Oregon is building an SEC team out there. Don't look
Hmm.
now, but they're building all the principles of an SEC squad out there
That's
in
right.
K Spray. Coach Jay, we've been trying to get Coach Jay probably somewhere right now on college football 2025. Coach J will be back. He in a hiatus right now. We trying to find Jay. He will be back. Trust me, the rants are about to start.
Yeah, man.
Trust me. And Randall Green, thank you. He says you guys have the best Alabama football on the internet. I really appreciate y'all's analysis info. Thank you, Randall.
Yeah, we
That's much
appreciate that.
appreciated. There's a lot of good content out there, man. And me and Jake, we just tapped in and try to give what it is, man.
That's
We
right, man.
appreciate you guys
Mhm.
more than you know, man. Um, Lastly, Jake, I want to know what you guys think about. I hope Mike is still in here. Mike might be gone. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but Michigan is going through a whirl of you know what right now.
Yeah.
Um, Jim Harbaugh hit with the show calls, even though he's not in college anymore. The team that he left, we're gonna have to pay for it. Damn, man, nasty work, Jake. Nasty work.
Man, here's the thing about it, right? Is we talked about this a little bit earlier from a standpoint of Michigan and what was going on. Was it really that substantial? I guess yeah, you're trying to make a example out of them from the NCAA standpoint, but like, was it that substantial? Man, like come on, not necessarily, right? Like at the
Right.
same time, you can hit Harbaugh with a penalty. Harbaugh's like, that's great and all, but man, I'm coaching the
I'm
NFL, so I
out
don't
of
really
here.
give two shits about your penalty,
Thank you.
right?
Thank
And then I think the next part is this is here's the thing about Michigan.
you, Ebony.
What's up, Ebony? What's going on?
She will pop up on this subject with this
Yeah,
team.
I know. I love it. I love she pops in on this, man. Um, Here's the thing, right? With Michigan, one thing I can tell you is that when Sharon Moore has been the coach and they
Yeah.
faced adversity, they have answered the call.
Yes, they have.
So, what are you just trying to rile them up so they come out like a bat out of hell, pissed off again? You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Like
saying?
last year.
100, because it's not like they had pieces leave, but Sharon Moore's still there. He still knows how to make this thing run. They still
Yeah.
have pieces in the defense that they'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like they still got a running game, which is all they really need. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know that this is so much of a distraction as it is motivation.
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah, I love it, Ebony. I hope you have a good time.
Prayers for DeMarco Helms, man. Al just said he was carted off the field in the air cast. Damn it, I hate to hear that,
Oh,
man.
seriously?
Yeah, man. Prayers for that kid, man. Safety
Dude,
from former safety for Bama. Man, I
man,
can't stand that, man. I hate that air. If it's an air cast,
it's
it's
not good.
probably a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if
Damn,
it's
I
in your
hate that.
leg too,
Yeah.
depending on where that's at, if it's your upper part, that gets really dangerous. So,
Prayers for DeMarco Helms. Please bless DeMarco.
mhm,
Prayers for that kid, man. Safe
yeah,
travels, Ebony. Safe travels, man. Holla at your boy. Safe travels.
she just got there, I
Um,
think.
oh, you
Yeah,
just got here on my way
yeah,
to
she
T
just got there.
Town. I just landed. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Probably in Birmingham on the way to T Town.
yeah. Oh, good.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with Michigan. And the thing about it is, like I said, it just kind of sucks that the team left behind will be the people that end up getting penalized for it, right? That
Hmm.
just sucks, man. That just
Seriously,
sucks all the way around. It does. It
we've
does,
seen
man.
this so many times. Like Alabama's probably been the one team this hasn't, like under Saban, for him to be
Yeah,
there so long and not run into any like massive sanction issue. Because you
yeah,
look back in history, right? Like shit happened to Don James back in the day, University of Washington. That's
exactly.
why he steps out when Washington was dominant back there in the 80s and 90s. USC happens to USC. That's what Pete Carroll's like, peace, I'm out of here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you got a lot of teams you could look at and they run into this like sanction stuff. The coaches are like, this is not worth it, man. Like this is stupid sanctions. I'm over it.
yes,
You know, like
uh,
peace out. So they have to do a better job of addressing problems. I get it when it's like when it's a super serious problem, but is
yeah,
this that serious? No, like I said, is it really going to hurt them, or is it more so motivation?
right.
So yeah, it'll
And
be
and,
interesting.
and these kids, these guys could turn it into to motivation, right?
Yep.
So we just have to keep our eyes peeled, man. We've been going now about an hour and a half, a little over
Hmm.
an hour and a half, 112 people, man. You guys are awesome on Twitter
Appreciate it.
and YouTube. You guys are awesome, man. As always, all the coaches in here, all the great people. You guys always treat us really, really well. Me and Jake and I, we appreciate you guys more than you know.
Yep.
Always shouts out to Ty Hayes, man, around the table sports. My brother Ty. Always big shout outs to Coach Smook and the AAA family. Always shout outs to Coach Jance, Coach J and Jan 716, Brentsky at Sharpshooters Podcast, Jason at Hall of Fame Sports, Coach Carl and On the Block Sports Talk, and Coach I with that Fan Addict Sports, man. These guys do a great job. Everybody in the collective, everybody do a great job, man. Shout out to Jake and Set the Tone. Please, 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 college football. Tap in with his podcast. Jake, give them more details and tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, so Set the Tone, college football. All you got to do, type that in Twitter. You'll find it. You'll find my little symbol of a dude with a mic and a black hat and a black shirt. Hit that, come subscribe, like, share, check out the videos. Man, it's a good time. And we saw a lot of people jump in the chat, which was awesome for those who are newer to seeing me and Coach Sean chat. Subscribe to our channels. Come check us out as we keep rolling into the closer to the season and rolling through the season, because we're going to be hitting some really good stuff. Give you guys some really quality breakdowns of what our opinion is, right? And just this coach's channel is called Just My Humble Opinion. But yeah, definitely come check mine out. It's funny because I released a video tonight just before we got on. I released a video about USC because there's a lot of people who don't like USC, but I'll tell you what, there's some things that USC did that were kind of impressive, so it's worth looking into. I'll tell you that. We definitely have one tomorrow on Bama's tight ends and how they'll play in this offense. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, subscribe, hit the notification, come check it out, man. But man, I'll tell you what, absolutely just love seeing everybody in here. Really appreciating everybody in here, and I appreciate always getting on with Coach Sean. It's my buddy here, man. We have a good time talking ball. So.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you. You always know you're much appreciated here anytime.
Thanks, man.
As everybody in the chat, much appreciated. Thank you guys so very much. Always tap in right here at JMHO Sports Talk. Just my humble opinion. Much appreciated, man. Shout out to everybody who tapped in, man. You guys have a great, great, great Saturday night, man. Friday night, great weekend. Let's look forward to the scrimmage. Might even hop on tomorrow if we get some details about what happened and talk about it. Shout out to Tim Nolan.
Yep.
And just continue to support us, man. Continue to follow us on Twitter. Continue to tap in with all of our channels and support great content, man. We really appreciate you guys. And until next episode, the truth will always be in the details, man. Roll Tide to you all. And introducing our last friend of the night, the SWD, Spinning Wheel Doom.
Roll Tide,
Roll
everybody.
Tide, everybody.